Time for the next frontier now, and fishermen in Lake Victoria have seen a sharp drop in the amount of tilapia caught from the lake after years of indiscriminate fishing in the region. But as they say, every misfortune creates an opportunity for someone else. A few entrepreneurial farmers have now started fish breeding in their small farms and are selling fingerlings to other farmers who then rear them in ponds. Well, in this week's episode of The Next Frontier, Philip Kitani caught up with the fish breeder in Maseno, Kisumu County, who is thriving in this fishy business and tells us more. Take a look.
Otieno Okello is a former banker now turned fish breeder from Maseno in Kisumu County. Okello is the founder of Pioneer Fish Farm, an entity that is setting the pace in breeding and selling of high-quality fingerlings for both tilapia and catfish.
Farming was initially a hobby. I started off as a hobbyist, fish farmer and dairy farmer before I ventured into serious fish farming, which I've now been doing for about 6 years. The
Pioneer Fish Farm was set up in 2011, and its services span the aquaculture value chain from the breeding and sale of high-quality fingerlings and production of fresh, affordable fish, as well as providing technical advice for small and medium-scale fish farmers across the country.
It's not for the faint-hearted. It's a difficult proposition. You have to have a passion for it. For you to be able to make inroads, and you have to have a lot of patience. So it's not been a walk in the park.
Okello tells me at first he was just interested in breeding catfish fingerlings that he intended to sell them to Nile perch fishermen to be used as bait, but later realized that there was still a huge demand for tilapia in the region, as the numbers of tilapia being harvested in Lake Victoria had drastically dropped.
What you see here today is just under 4 years old, where with support from Gain Marketplace, we've managed to expand our hatchery into a slightly bigger production unit and been able to increase our production capacity to service a much larger client base.
The farm is now well known for breeding and production of tilapia and catfish fingerlings, as well as production of all fish that is of high quality and affordable, both from its Maseno farm and through the net cage fish farming capacity on Lake Victoria.
I'm a breeder, which means we have a hatchery. What we have here today is our hatchery, and we also grow fish to full market size in the lake, which means that we own some cages on Lake Victoria from which we produce fish to full size.
The farm also specializes in the sale of fish feed and fish farming inputs and provision of extension services to outgrower farmers, as well as the sale of high-quality broodstock lines to other hatcheries. In 2016, the farm sold 800,000 fingerlings and 19.5 metric tons of tilapia from its Maseno farm. This is expected to increase significantly by the end of 2017 as fish are harvested on Lake Victoria.
In our facility, we can produce easily 200,000 fingerlings in a month if the demand was there. But you also don't want to be left with a lot of stock that you cannot be able to sell. So ideally, that balance can be a bit tricky. It's a bit intensive in terms of capital. You require good skills, which means you require qualified staff to be able to run a hatchery.
Now, with the support from the Global Alliance for Nutrition, GAIN, Pioneer Fish Farm has been able to increase the capacity for both fingerlings to be supplied to small-scale farmers within the region and fresh fish.
We have since ventured into production of whole fish, specializing in a product that we have been pushing locally, affordable small fish, because you realize that the market for fish is made up of the haves and the have-nots. The have-nots, basically at the bottom of the pyramid, you'll find that they're not eating as much fish because of the cost of fish. So what we're trying to do is to also get into that cross-section, to cut across the market, all the market segments of tilapia, so that the small man in the village and in the township can be able to afford tilapia just as much as the guys, the middle class in the towns.
The farm is now constructing a farm shop that supplies fish along the busy Kisumu-Mombasa Road, as well as introduction of floating cage fish farming in Ndere Highland in Lake Victoria. In our next episode of The Next Frontier, here on KTN News, we will take you to Ndere Highland and take an in-depth look on cage fish farming and how it is driving this fishy business and growing livelihoods. Philip Keitany for The Next Frontier.